So in this segment, we're going to be talking about this little Bloomberg clip where they talk about kind of trying to separate the impact of Brexit from COVID, which admittedly is very difficult. So they do kind of discuss that topic. So we'll go through this video and we'll talk about some more things.
So is it too early to separate the effects of Brexit and COVID-19?
It's actually been really difficult to disentangle the two, but what you can see over the past 12 months is that UK trade with the EU has declined compared to UK trade with the rest of the world. And really interesting analysis from the Centre for European Reform shows that if you compare what the UK's trade with the EU would have been...
So this is a graph where it's a prediction, so it's not going to be an exact science, but you can see this big spike here where kind of EU importers importing a lot because of the the impending customs and things like that.
Had we stayed in the bloc with what it was over the past 10 months, there's a 15% gap, so not insignificant, and it's set to get worse from January when you get even more checks on EU goods coming to the UK, and you've got Liz Truss, the Foreign Secretary, taking over from Brexit Minister David Frost. She's not likely to be a soft touch on Brexit.
She can't be a soft touch because she wants to be Prime Minister, so she's going to have to appeal to people like Brexit hardman Steve Baker.
She's already said she could trigger Article 16 of the Northern Ireland Protocol.
She ain't going to do that. She's not going to do it.
That could tank the Brexit trade agreement and make 2022 even rockier for UK-EU trade.
Yeah, it's always quite uncertain when you have someone else in charge, someone new that you're trying to get used to in terms of language and tone. Third quarter GDP, what do those figures look like?
Well, it was revised down from the previous estimate, and what it means for the economy is we won't likely get back to pre-pandemic levels until mid-2022. The US is already there, but the Brexit impact...
See, the US, which has similar problems to what we have, right? They have big supply chain problems. They have a massive staffing crisis, but they're managing to go back to pre-pandemic levels, but we can't, and we're a while off from that. Why? What's changed? That's the thing you've got to figure out, and it is Brexit. Other EU countries are heading back towards their pre-pandemic levels, but we're not. So what does that tell you? It tells you the fact that Brexit has had a massive impact. They mention it in this video, so we'll let them kind of explain it a bit.
On the economy is likely to be 4% over the long term. That's according to the UK's fiscal watchdog.
So that's the OBR saying it's going to be about 4%. So yeah, it's not going to be a great situation all round, to be honest. Corporate spending in the UK dropping off, that's standard. I mean, foreign direct investment is going down, with France being second. But if you look at this graph, it's not an exact science. It's not an exact science of prediction, but you can see it's separating. And what you can remember is with just-in-time trade as well, and there were parts that were, things that were manufactured partially within kind of an EU member state and then given to the UK to, finish manufacturing or also add stuff onto it and then ship back into another EU member state. That's going to go now. That's finished. So what they can do with manufacturing is it's going to be a whole good. So it's going to be like a complete car that's going to be exported in one direction or the other. They're not going to do this kind of, we'll put some of the car parts together in France and we'll finish it in the UK. What's going to happen is it's going to be finished in France or finished in Germany and then sent over. And same with the other way around as well. The only difference is we're a much smaller market than theirs. So that's why you're going to see other problems, especially with our issues with the borders as well, where you don't have free movement of goods between France, between an EU member state and the GB. So what that means is you're going to do manufacturing in the UK, it's going to be very painful to do, because to get the stuff in, it's going to face import customs checks from this year, really, depending on when this video goes out. And then for that lorry to get out, they're going to face potential export checks unless they go home empty. That's the only way. So we're going to see a massive, this sort of gap between the predictions and the reality going up dramatically. This gap is going to widen a lot more. It's at around 15%. I think that's going to go a lot higher. But again, that is just a prediction. Predictions can be wrong, and my prediction and this graph's prediction, but I think that gap is going to widen a lot, and the UK are going to be hit far worse, because we still do rely on manufacturing for jobs and for the economy, and manufacturing is going to be decimated. We're going to be talking about in another video about how UK steel manufacturers are very nervous because of the steel tariffs that are still on the UK, not to mention the fact the energy crisis as well, which is a global thing, but we're outside the EU's internal energy market, and the fact that EU countries, I think, are debating whether to cut off third countries and just try and keep as much energy as they can in order to stop domestic prices from going up so much, because at the end of the day, they're accountable to their constituents, and if they can stop energy prices going up as much by cutting the UK off, they'll probably do it. Anyways, because they don't owe us anything. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.